So, some people will do a review about how something works like immediately after they've done it. And of course I did that too, right? But this is, a week later with the extruder upgrade, and I'm really pretty happy with it. It took a little while to get the Z-axis dialed back in again. And once I had that, then adhesion worked perfect and my prints just start and go and I don't have to babysit it. Although you should probably always babysit your prints, right? But, the other thing that's really nice is, if something's printing and it runs out of filament in the middle of the night, in the morning you can come back in and just reload the filament and get going again. So that's the number one big thing about this upgrade, is it makes that filament change out really easy and saves your bacon, and you don't waste half a print or 6 hours of printing or 12 or 24, whatever, when you're done. I suppose I could spend a little bit more time on my filament management, like, how much did I actually use and how much is left, but I don't think the filament I'm buying has an exact length, so even modeling that correctly is going to be a bit of a challenge and sort of haphazard. Anyway, so I'm happy with it. I think you should do it too. If you're thinking about it, it was actually a really fun build. You probably shouldn't spend till 2 in the morning doing it, whatever. Because you probably won't make mistakes, right? So anyway, so this is the extruder upgrade, and as you can see, it's running in the background. I should probably spend some time in another video talking about some of the projects I'm working on. I'm doing some battery adapters for some power tools that are turning out pretty well. I'm very, very happy with them so far, and they look really nice when I print them in the 0.2 millimeter quality mode, or even the fast mode. They come out looking pretty good. So anyway, I'll cover that maybe in a week or two. So hang tight and print stuff. All right, this is a print job. It ran out of filament last night, and then I had to do the auto load swap out this morning and just keep finishing it. And you can see that there's a difference in how shiny the filament is. The last reel was really shiny, and this reel isn't so shiny at all. But this came out pretty good. So let's take a look at that. You can really see the difference in shiny there. And the only real defect, I think you can see this here, is a little bit of fuzzy on that, right where I ran out of filament, and it ejected and parked and saved and came back later. But if that's as bad as it gets, I'm pretty happy. There aren't very many fuzzies on it. Here's a tiny bit of fuzzy, what I'm talking about. Let's see if that's in focus. Previously, the other firmware and the other extruder head, I had a lot of fuzzy, and that resulted in a big wad of like black goo accumulating on the extruder tip. And so now I'm not having that problem because there's no fuzzies and no fuzzies to get stuck on the extruder tip. So I'm not, wiping black crud off the, the bottom there all the time. So the big issue with this stuff is the lack of lot-to-lot reproducibility in the quality of the filament. If you're trying to do high quality prints, don't use this probably, but this stuff's great because it's cheap. Now, this stuff also caused a huge trouble with the Prusa sensor. It's shiny and it's black on some lots, and other lots it's more of a dull color, like not very reflective, but still quite black. And the original sensor didn't pick it up very well, and so you'd run out of, you couldn't use the auto loader, you couldn't use AutoSense or anything like that, and that was sort of a hassle. So the new extruder deals with that problem really well because it's mechanical, and I can go ahead and keep using my cheap filament and get good prints. So when it comes down to it, what I'm really after is a smooth transition from designing to printing without a whole lot of things to get in my way in between. And the new upgrade seems to work pretty well. And Wes, your tip about following the instructions and wiping down the plate with isopropanol, that was pretty useful too. With the PETG, it just wasn't sticking very well. And at one of the Triangle Maker Group meetings, somebody was giving me a hard time. They're like, hey, I've been using the same thing you're doing and it sticks great. And he's like, well, you're following the instructions, right? And using a good wipe down with isopropyl alcohol. And well, maybe my alcohol was old, or I don't know what, but so that wasn't working. And now I'm cleaning it really well, making sure I don't get any grease on there, and my adhesion issues are going over. So highly recommend that, if you're having adhesion issues, glue sticks are great, but if you want stuff to stick, you got to clean that plate just like the instructions say.